So what does the Bible have to say about Adam and Jesus? These are two really important figures in the entire story and narrative of the Bible. And it's important that we understand these two people, clearly Jesus, but also Adam, so that we can understand the whole story of the Bible. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to look at how Adam and Christ are paralleled together as two incredibly important figures that both play the same role in history. And we're going to look specifically at Romans chapter 5, verses 12 to 21. So if you're watching this video, you probably know who Jesus is. I'm not going to explain Jesus very much, but I'm going to explain Adam a little bit. Adam was the first person that God created in Genesis chapter 2 after he had created and formed and ordered the entire world. And Adam was then placed into a garden, and it was Adam and Eve together who were to rule and reign with God in creation. They're given a special task, which is to be fruitful and multiply all over the world, tend to the garden, and to also reflect God's image to the world. They were supposed to be the typical and perfect human couple and people. But there's one thing we know in Genesis chapter 3 that Adam did, and that is he chose to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. He chose to sin and rebel against God and to not listen to God and instead have himself as his own God as opposed to having God as God, which seems like an absolutely ridiculous thing to do. But what Genesis chapter 3 does is it shows us that this temptation is always present within all of human history. There's always decisions that you and I and everyone make on a daily basis as to whether we're going to be the God of our lives or whether God is going to be the God of our lives. This brings us to the whole of human history. We see throughout the entire Bible there's this one problem that all people have, and that is that our back is turned to God and we're always rejecting God. And the story of the Bible tells us that there's going to be one person who's going to come who's going to reverse what happened in the Garden of Eden, is going to reverse what Adam did. And there seems to be figures all throughout the story of the Bible that look really promising, but they're not quite the right fit for the job. Enter the person of Jesus and enter Romans chapter 5, verses 12. And I'm going to read the whole thing. Therefore, just as sin entered the world through one man, and death through sin, and in this way death came to all people because all sinned. To be sure, sin was in the world before the law was given, but sin is not charged against anyone's account where there is no law. Nevertheless, sin reigned from the time of Adam to the time of Moses, even over those who did not sin by breaking a command, as did Adam, who is a pattern or type of the one to come, Jesus. So what's happening here is that Adam is then being compared to Jesus with this Greek word tupos, and this is really important. So what's happening here is that Paul, who wrote Romans, is saying that Adam is like Christ. Now, they're not exactly the same, but they both play a very similar role in history. So if you read on, this is what we find out. But the gift is not like the trespass. For if the many died by the trespass of the one man, Adam, how much more did God's grace and the gift that came by the grace of the one man, Jesus Christ, overflow to the many? Nor can the gift of God be compared with the result of one man's sin. The judgment followed one sin and brought condemnation, but the gift followed many trespasses and brought justification. For if by the trespass of the one man death reigned through that one man, how much more will those who receive God's abundant provision of grace and the gift of righteousness reign in life through the one man, Jesus Christ? See, I know that's a lot there, but this is what Paul's trying to explain. Adam and Christ are the same in just one regard. Their one act of obedience/disobedience, disobedience for Adam, obedience for Christ, resulted in a catalytic moment that impacted all of human history and every single human. So Adam, when he ate the fruit from the tree, launched sin and death into the world. But Christ, when he died on the cross on that one act of obedience, launched grace and freedom and justification into the world. The thing is, with Adam, everybody by default is born into Adam's family. But as a result of faith in Jesus and trust in him, those who have faith in Jesus are then transferred and adopted into Christ's family. That's the main difference. But Adam and Christ are not like good versus evil and like this always fighting kind of battle, and they're like equals. Christ is so much greater. Not only did he do what Adam couldn't do, which was be obedient completely to God, but he also overcame all of that sin throughout all of human history on the cross. And that's why Jesus is so much more superior than Adam. So here's the bottom line, and here is the only thing that we need to understand right now. Jesus invites you into a new family or reality. This is the invitation of the gospel. We are given the choice, thanks to Jesus, to decide if we want to continue to live in Adam's family that's defined by sin, death, evil, and destruction, or if we want to be launched into Christ's new family, which is the family of life, grace, mercy, forgiveness, truth, healing, all these different things. Do we want to spend eternity with God, or do we want to spend eternity as ourselves, as God, is the real question to the answer. And that's what we learn with Adam and Christ being paralleled between the Old and New Testament. Hey, if you've made it to the end of this video, I would encourage you to click the subscribe button and the like button on this video just to help the algorithm out a little bit to get this video out there so other people can enjoy it. If you want to learn more about the Bible and about our place within the grand story of the Bible, I would encourage you to click one of my other videos in this channel as well.